Photoshop and then immediately hold down Ctrl-Alt-Shift on Windows or Command-Option-Shift on Mac OS to restore the default preferences. When prompted, click Yes to delete the Adobe Photoshop settings file. Choose Browse in Bridge from the File menu to open Adobe Bridge. In Bridge, click Lessons in the Favorites panel, and then double-click the Lesson 15 folder in the Content panel. Compare the files 15restore.psd and 15restore_end.psd, 15colorize.psd and 15colorize_end.psd, and 15composite.psd and 15composite_end.psd. Using neural filters, you'll create the finished file in just a few clicks. In Bridge, double-click the 15restore.psd file to open it in Photoshop. If the Embedded Profile Mismatch dialog box appears, click OK. Save the document as 15restore_working.psd in the Lesson 15 folder. Choose Neural Filters from the Filter menu. To learn more about neural filters, let's see how they can help restore old photos. In the Filters list, scroll down to the Restoration category and click the toggle switch next to the Photo Restoration filter to enable and apply it. If options aren't available and a Download button appears instead, click the Download button because it means the filter is not yet installed. When the download completes, the filter will install itself and be ready for you to use. To compare the changes with the original, click the Show Original button at the bottom of the workspace. Click once to hide the changes and see the original, and click again to preview the changes again. If you don't notice a change, zoom in to 100% or higher magnification. As needed, adjust the first two photo restoration options, and then repeat the previous steps to check your work. I'll leave photo enhancement as default value of 50, and I'll reduce enhance face to 15 to preserve more of the original film texture. Scroll up or zoom out as needed until you can see the top of the image. That part of the photo print is scratched and torn. Adjust scratch reduction to about 20. A progress bar at the bottom of the image may indicate that it will take a little while. When it's done, the scratch is intelligently removed, which you can verify using the Show Original button. You greatly improve this image using the Restoration Neural Filter. For output, choose Smart Filter, and then click OK to exit Neural Filters. Close the document, saving your changes. You can use neural filters to colorize black and white images and add depth blur. In Bridge, double-click the 15colorize.psd file to open it in Photoshop. If the Embedded Profile Mismatch dialog box appears, click OK. Save the document as 15colorize_working.psd in the Lesson 15 folder. Choose Neural Filters from the Filter menu. In the Filters list, scroll down to the Color category and click the toggle switch next to the Colorize filter to enable it. Make sure Auto Color Image is selected. The Colorize filter applies assumed colors to objects and regions it recognizes, such as the leaves on the tree and the boy's skin and clothing. If you disagree with a color choice Colorize made, for example, if the shirt is not all the same color, you can apply custom colors to specific areas. In the preview image on the right, click to add a new color focal point over an area you want to change, and set its color using the color picker below the image. Repeat for other areas where you want to change the color. In the Photography category in the Filters list, click the toggle switch next to the Depth Blur filter to enable it. Download it if needed. Adjust filter options as needed until you like the result. I'll disable the focus subject option because it includes part of the tree, and I'll set the focal range to 40 so that more of the bicycle remains in focus. You've brought this image back to life. For output, choose Smart Filter and then click OK to exit Neural Filters. Close the document, saving your changes. When compositing multiple images, the images may not be consistent in tone and color. Some neural filters can help resolve this. In Bridge, double-click the 15composite.psd to open it in Photoshop. If the Embedded Profile Mismatch dialog box appears, click OK. Save the document as 15composite_working.psd in the Lesson 15 folder. Click OK in the Photoshop Format Options dialog. This image will become a thumbnail image for a video, but the color palette and subject need to be closer to the look of the art director's concept. In the Layers panel, make sure the planet layer is selected, and then choose Neural Filters from the Filter menu. In the Filters list, scroll down to the Creative category, and click to enable the toggle switch next to the Landscape Mixer filter. If needed, download it first. The Landscape Mixer filter can apply the look of one landscape image to another. Depending on the landscape images you mix, you can even change a scene from summer to winter or fill a desert image with green foliage. In the Landscape Mixer options, click different presets to experiment with how each of them alters the landscape attributes of the layer. Click the third preset. That's the one to use for this project. For output, choose Smart Filter and then click OK to apply the changes. In the Layers panel, click the eye icon for the heroine layer to make it visible. Its tone and color doesn't quite match up with the landscape, so let's improve that. With the heroine layer selected, choose Neural Filters from the Filter menu. And in the Color category in the Filters list, click to enable the toggle switch next to the Harmonization filter. If needed, download it first. The Harmonization filter helps match the color and tone of a layer to another layer in the document. In the Reference Image section, click Select a Layer and select Planet. The color and tone of the heroine layer changes to better match the color and light of the planet layer, but it could be improved. In the Harmonization options, drag the cyan red slider about 1/3 of the way towards red, drag saturation to about 15, and reduce brightness to about -30. Make any other adjustments that make the composite more convincing. Remember to use the Show Original button to check your work. For output, choose Smart Filter, and then click OK to apply the changes. In the Layers panel, click the eye icon for the Guardian type layer to make it visible. You've completed the video thumbnail. Nice work! You used neural filters to transform the look of both images in just a few steps, making them work together to match the mood and look of the production. Save your work and close the document.
All right, now we have Adobe Illustrator. It's a vector graphic software used to create illustrations, logos, icons, typography, and other types of digital artwork. In this course, you will learn the fundamentals of Illustrator, which includes its navigation and interface. You'll learn how to navigate through Illustrator's interface and customize it to your preferences, which will also help you work efficiently. You'll look at vector shapes and paths. You'll learn how to create and manipulate vector shapes and paths to create simple and complex illustrations. Then color and gradients are important. You'll learn how to apply color and gradients to your artwork to create depth and dimension. Then you'll see typography and design. You'll learn how to use Illustrator to create and edit typography, as well as how to design layouts and incorporate graphic elements into your illustrations. Then another important thing is exporting and sharing. You'll learn how to export your Illustrator artwork for use in other applications, as well as how to share your work with others. By the end of the course, you'll have a solid understanding of the tools and techniques necessary to create digital illustrations and designs in Illustrator. Remember I mentioned that you need to make sure you reset the default preferences and settings for each program? Well, let's talk about that now. For Adobe Illustrator, while starting the program, hold down Control-Alt-Shift on Windows or Command-Option-Shift on macOS to reset the default settings. That's all you got to do. You're all set.
For the first lesson of this book, you're going to get a quick tour of the most widely used tools and features in Illustrator. So make sure that you've reset the Illustrator preferences. You start Illustrator, and we're going to open up a file. So go ahead and choose File Open or click Open out here in the home screen. And go into the Lessons, Lesson 00 folder. Open up the L00n.ai file. And you'll probably want to see the whole thing, so choose View, Fit Artboard and Window. We'll start out by creating a brand new document. So let's go to File New. And in here, the new document dialog box, you can set all kinds of stuff. What we want to do is this. We want to go choose the web preset at the top, which gives us a bunch of options. And then over here on the right, we're going to set some things. So like the name first. We'll do social media ad. We're going to create an ad. We're going to change the width and height. We're going to type these values in. So go ahead and select the value. Type in 1080. I'm going to press Tab to get to the field down here as well. So whoops, going a little nutty here. So 1080 by 1080. And then click Create to make a new document. Now we'll save it. So choose File, Save. You'll probably see this dialog box. It changes over time. Depends on what you're working on, what version of Illustrator you're in, but go ahead and click Save in your computer. It's going to look different, the Save As dialog box, Mac and Windows, but you should see social media ad.ai. And we want to make sure that that's there. You want to also go to the Lesson 00 folder. Make sure that Illustrator is chosen for the format or the Save As type on Windows, and then click Save. You're always going to see this dialog box. This basically gives you options for saving backwards, sort of like a backward compatibility and other things as well. Just go ahead and click OK. Now we're going to reset the workspace. Make sure we all see the same thing. So choose Window, Workspace. Make sure that Essentials has a check mark. If it doesn't, whoops, click on it. Then come back to this menu and choose Reset Essentials. That's going to reset the workspace and everything out here, so you should see what you need. Then so we can fit this area, this white thing, this is called the artboard. This is kind of like a page in most documents. Choose View, Fit Artboard and Window. And we're ready to start. One thing you're going to create a lot of in Illustrator are shapes. So let's go ahead and draw some. Come over here to the toolbar and click on the rectangle tool. Move out here and kind of in the top, what I want you to do is we're going to draw so that we create something that has a width of 80 and a height of 110. So, too big. Okay, something like that. Pretty small actually. I don't know if you noticed, but when you drag, you see that little gray measurement label right there next to my pointer? That's part of Smart Guides. So View, Smart Guides. That means that it's going to tell you how big something is when you're drawing it. All right, we're going to make a copy of this rectangle and paste it on top. So choose Edit, Copy, and then choose Edit, Paste in Place. It's going to put one right on top. Now we're going to move it down. So come to the middle of it and just drag it down and put it somewhere right about here. Now down here we're going to make a much bigger rectangle. So we're going to make one that's about 280 in width by about 600 pixels tall. So something like that. Pretty big. All right, now we're going to draw a circle. So go over to the toolbar, press and hold on the rectangle tool, and select the ellipse tool. Come out here, press the shift key, and drag to make a circle that fits within here. Release the mouse button, and then the key. After you draw shapes, you're going to want to edit them. And we're going to edit the circle to start with here. So with it selected, go ahead and drag it by the blue dot in the center so it snaps to the edge of the rectangle. You should see it like that. Then we're going to make it bigger. So press the shift key, come to this point here, and drag it to the right and snap it to the edge of the rectangle. You should feel it snap in there. Release the mouse button and then the key. All right, let's move it up. So come to the center, drag it straight up. You're going to feel it snap in, like right about there, when it snaps to the top of the rectangle. Select the selection tool. And then click in the largest rectangle, and what we want to do is make it a different size here. So we're going to make it a height of about 670. So I'm going to drag it down, and what's going to happen is it's going to scroll a little bit for us, and that's okay. So we'll go to about 670. There we go. Now to move the two smaller rectangles, these ones right here, into place, click one of them, and then shift-click the other one. Drag them toward the center of the circle until you see a vertical guide, this pink magenta style guide here, show up, and then let go. Save your file by choosing File, Save. One thing we do a lot of is to make simple shapes and then combine them to make more complex shapes. And that's what we're going to do with these right here. So starting in an empty area in the artboard, drag across the three shapes you see here. I'll drag across them, just like that, and then let go. And they should be selected. Now, select the Shape Builder tool over here, and that's not it. I'm going to go down here to the Shape Builder tool. There we go. And what I want you to do is move the pointer right up over here, and we're going to drag through the shapes to merge them together. So drag like this, and let go. And you just made a marker body. Now we'll adjust the shapes a little bit. So select the Direct Selection tool, the white arrow here. And you're actually going to see that we have these little, what are called anchor points. You can see anchor right there. These control the direction and the shape of the path. What we're going to do is we're going to actually round them. So what I want you to do is drag across these here like this. You should see these little circles. Drag those out until you round it as far as you can go. Can't go any further. And let go. Go ahead and save your file by choosing File, Save. When you make shapes, you're probably going to want to apply color to them. So that's what we're going to do next. Select the selection tool over here in the toolbar, and then click the small rectangle above the shape you just merged down here. To change the color of this, come over here to the Properties panel and click on the Fill Color right here. You should see a Swatches option right there, and then you can pick some kind of color, like I'll do a color like this. To remove the border, there's a black border on this, come to the stroke here, and what you can do is you can click the down arrow until it disappears, and that's basically 0. Okay, select this larger marker body here. We're going to change the fill of that as well. So come over here and change the fill color. I'll do a little different orange. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to change this color. So double click the swatch. Come over here, make sure preview is turned on, and drag the green slider right here to the right to make it a little bit more yellow. All right, click OK. And you can see the color change here as well as over there in that little swatch. Now to remove the stroke or the border, click that down arrow here until it's gone. Now we're going to show you how to like rotate and scale and basically transform artwork. So click the small rectangle up here to select it. Select the direct selection tool. What I want you to do is click the upper left point. It looks like that anchor point right there. And then drag it down, not up. It went up by accident. Let me drag down. And we'll make kind of a chiseled point on it like that. Okay, select the selection tool. Deselect everything by choosing Select, Deselect. And then select both shapes in the artboard by choosing Select All on Active Artboard. We're going to group this together as a marker so they stay together. So come over here to the right and click on Group. We're going to paste it now. So choose Edit, Copy, and then Edit, Paste. It's just going to make a copy here. And what I want you to do is just drag it down here a little bit. Something like that. And I'm going to probably drag across both of these and move them in the center here, but there we go. Now to rotate this marker here, make sure you select it, click on it. Move the cursor right off the corner here, and you should see these little rotate arrows, and then drag. I'm just going to do it a little bit, maybe like 7 degrees or something like that. Now we're going to make another copy here. So choose Edit, Copy, and then choose Edit, Paste, and Place. That puts one right in place. And now we're going to flip. I don't know if you can see it. There's a copy here. I'll move it back. So take that copy. We're going to flip it horizontally. So click the Flip Horizontally button. Begin dragging the marker to the right. Press the Shift key as you drag. Get it where you want it. Release the mouse button and then the key. One of the best things in Illustrator is recoloring artwork really easily. That means that we can take a bunch of art, select it, and just quickly change the color of it. Alright, shift-click the marker on the far left to select it so that both of these markers are selected. Then click the Recolor button over here in the Properties panel. You should see this dialog box out here now. Alright, come up here to Color Library and choose Document Swatches. And that should show you all the swatches that we have, or colors that we have now that are available in the document. To edit these colors, these are the two colors that are in the marker right now. To edit them independently, turn this off. Now you can drag these separately. So drag this one here, it's going to be a darker color. And drag this one here, it's going to be a lighter color of the same type of color. Alright, click in an empty area. That should close the dialog box. To select all the markers, choose Select All on Active Artboard. Group them together by choosing Object, Group. Deselect by choosing Select, Deselect. And then save your file. Now we're going to create a fun gradient, which is a blend of 2 or more colors. Choose View, Zoom Out, so that you can see the edges of the artboard here. And what we're going to do is we're going to select the Rectangle tool again. So press and hold on the Ellipse tool and select the Rectangle tool. And we're going to draw a rectangle. So starting over here off the left edge, right on the left edge rather, of the artboard, click and drag. And get it about this big. I think I said approximate height of 375. There we go. That's good. All right, in the Properties panel, we're going to change the color. So click on the Fill color. Come over here and you should see the white-black gradient. Go ahead and click on that and apply it. Now, if we want to change the options for the gradient, we want to click on the Gradient Options button here, and that's going to open this panel we can work with. So go ahead and click and drag that over. Make sure the Fill box is selected. That means you're selecting or editing the fill. Come to the little color stop here, the black, double-click. Make sure swatches are selected. And then we're going to choose another color here. So maybe I'll try this one right there. Or I'll do a darker. All right, come to the little white color stop here. Double click on that and pick another color. There are lots of things you can do with gradients. You can add colors, change them, all kinds of things. But for right now, go ahead and close up the gradient panel by clicking the X here. So far, we've adjusted the fill or the inside color of something. Now we're going to adjust the stroke. With that rectangle still selected, click the word stroke over here in the properties panel. It should show some more options for you. Change the stroke weight to 11. I'll just crank that up. You can also type that value in. Click the align stroke to inside, so it goes inside. And you should see by default it's a black color. Now click on the color box so you can see the colors here, and select the white swatch. You can click somewhere else to hide that panel, and choose Select Deselect. As you learn, the further you get into Illustrator, there are a lot of ways to create in here. And one of them is by drawing. We're going to use a curvature tool to do that. So select the curvature tool over here in the toolbar. And we're going to go over and change a couple things here. So click the fill box in the properties panel here. Apply none. That way we don't have a fill applied. Click the stroke color box below it. And we're going to apply an orange swatch like that one. Okay. Now, move the pointer over here. You're going to have to close that little panel there. Move the pointer over here. And what I want you to do is click and release, and we're going to start drawing the shape. Okay. To make a serpentine pattern, we're going to come over here, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to follow the book exactly, but come over here and click and move the pointer here, and you're going to see it's flexing around that point. This is called a curve. Now we're going to create a scribble here, so I'm just going to move down, click, click, and then click, something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, you can see I could keep going here, but press the escape key to stop drawing, and then move. You should see it stopped. Now we're going to arrange it behind everything. So click Arrange over here and choose Send to Back. Next thing we're going to do is apply a brush to that to make it look a little more realistic. To make that path look a little bit more realistic, we're going to apply what's called a brush to it. So select the selection tool over here in the toolbar. Make sure it's still selected. Then choose Window up here, all the way down at the bottom. It's going to be pretty hard to find. Brush Libraries, Artistic Ink. These are a bunch of different, I can't even get it, libraries you can use. These are pretty cool. All right, scroll in the panel here. And what we want to do is we want to find a brush called Marker. Click on that. And it's going to apply a kind of a marker brush to this. Change the stroke weight in the panel to 6 point. Go kind of big there. And you should now see it. Looks kind of cool. All right, close this panel. And then go ahead and save the file. We're going to kind of adjust things in a little bit, but you can, if you want to, drag it down, move it a little bit, just to put it where you want it to. Okay, now we're going to work with a little bit of type out here. So select the type tool over here in the toolbar. Come on out here and click in the rectangle here and type Art in capital letters, Art Supplies. I know it's really teeny, I get it. I think I might have even misspelled it. Select the selection tool. Come over here and let's change the color over on the right. Click on the fill. And we're going to apply another orange color here. And then come down here, and what we're going to do is you can see there's a font and a size. We're going to change the size right here. So you can actually type in the value here. Type in 73 and press return, and it should get kind of big. And okay, I'm going to go back to the type tool, put my cursor in there, and fix what I did. Supplies. There we go. Then I'll go back over to the selection tool, and that way you can move it around and do different things with it. All right, we're also going to change what's called the tracking here. So come to the tracking value, and we're going to change that to 30. Let's return or enter, and you should see it got a little bit wider there. You should see it got a little more space between the letters. Now we're going to do something fun here. We're going to warp text. So that's kind of cool. With the selection tool selected and the text still selected, copy and paste the text by choosing Edit Copy and then Edit Paste. I should put a copy out here. Go ahead and arrange the two of them so they look kind of like this. Select the type tool, and what we're going to do is we're going to change the text art supplies to say crafty. I'm going to click on it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And type in crafty. All right, select the selection tool so you have it selected again. And then change the font size to 190. That's a lot. So I'm going to come over here and do that here. I'm actually pressing the Shift key and clicking the arrow here to go faster. There we go, 190. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to warp this text so it looks kind of cool. So choose Object, Envelope Distort. I know it's kind of a funny name. Make with Warp. These are pre-built warps that you can choose. So make sure that you choose Arch. And we're only going to bend it 20%. So let's crank that back. There we go. And then click OK. All right. Drag the curved text down here, and it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to kind of align things, but make sure they look kind of good to each other, next to each other rather. So something like that. And then choose Select Deselect. And later on, you're going to align everything, so don't worry about it. One of your favorite things in Illustrator will become effects. These are really cool things like drop shadows. So we're going to apply an effect to something you make. Press and hold on the rectangle tool over here and select the ellipse tool. On the top of the banner right about here, press the Shift key and drag to make a circle. Something like that. Release the mouse button and then the key. Now come to the fill color. You should be getting used to this by now. And we're going to pick some kind of blue. So I'll choose maybe that. Okay. Close that little panel and click the Effect button right here. Choose Distort and Transform, Zigzag. It's pretty fun. Okay, you can move these around, these little dialogues, by their title bar here. What I want you to do is change the size to 9. Make sure that Absolute is selected, how big it's going to be. And ridges per segment is 9. More of them out there. We're going to make them corners and not smooth. You can kind of see what that means. And then click OK. Now you can add just a little more text for some practice. So select the Type tool over here in the toolbar. Click somewhere to add some text. It doesn't really matter where. Type 30%. Press Return or Enter. And then type Off. So we're going to put this on top of this little sail icon here. Select the Selection tool and you should see that the text is selected. We're going to change the fill color to white. Hopefully you're getting used to this. Font size to 60. This is kind of big. I'm using the Shift key and clicking down. There we go. Leading to 50. I'm going to type the value in here and press Return or Enter. And then we want to center the text. You can come right here and click on Align Center. Something like that. Drag it so it's on top of the circle. And we're going to kind of try to put it sort of in the center of the circle like that. It actually looks kind of big, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger and then move it over. There we go, something like that. And what I want to do now is I want to take these two objects and I want to group them together. So Shift-click the blue circle and the text to select them both. Then click Group over here to group them together. That keeps them together as one object and you can move them together. To finish this artwork, we're just going to align everything. So with the Selection tool selected, come out here and click to select the group of markers. Press the Shift key and click the banner, the crafty text, and the art supplies text. Come over here and you can see a line, but what we're going to do is we're going to align to the artboard or this white area here. So click on this Align To right here and make sure that Align to Artboard is chosen. Then choose Horizontal Align Center. And that puts everything horizontally aligned on the artboard. You can move this scribble here if you want to. You can also move the little, 30% off signal here. And then when you're done, choose File, Save, and you can close the file. In this lesson, you'll open a document and you'll begin to explore the Illustrator workspace. So make sure you reset the preferences, open Illustrator, and you can either choose File Open or click Open over here. In the Lessons Lesson 1 folder, open up the L1Start1.ai file. Now what we want to do is we want to reset everything here. So go to Window, Workspace, make sure Essentials is chosen, and then choose Reset Essentials. Choose View, Fit Artboard and Window. What that does is it sets the page or the artboard, the thing that we're designing here, into the document window. Let's start by exploring the workspace a little bit. You're going to see the application bar up here, and on Windows, the menu items are actually in the bar. On the far right, you're going to see some things like being able to share the file, discover help and tutorials and things like that, being able to arrange, and also switch workspaces. On the left side over here, you're going to see your really kind of basic toolbar to start. These are where all your tools live. On the right, you're going to see panels. Now, there are a bunch of panels out here that you can work with, and as you click on them, you can see them. Out here is called the document window, this whole area, and this is your artboard within the document. And down here is called the status bar. So you see down here we got things like zoom, orientation as far as rotation, etc., etc. Let's get to know the tools a little bit. If you move your pointer over some of the tools over here, you'll actually see a little card show up with an animation. Not for all of them, you're going to see it for a lot of them. This gives you an idea of what the tool is all about. And what you can do is you can click Learn More to see more of that if you want to. All right, go ahead and select the selection tool over here. And then down at the bottom, why don't you click on this text, starting at $89. Go ahead and drag it up so it's a little bit higher. I'm going to go up something like that. And the selection tool is something you're going to use a lot. When we work in the lessons here, I'm going to tell you essentially go back to the selection tool so that you can move something or resize it, etc. That's kind of like your home tool. Come to the rectangle tool, press and hold down, and you're going to see that any tool that has a little tick mark in the corner there means there's more tools underneath. Select the star tool. And come down here, what I want you to do is just draw a little star. Now it's going to create from the center. So if you start right about here, what you can do, I didn't say this in the book, but you can press the shift key to straighten it up if you want to do that. And that looks pretty good. Now if you don't like where the star is, what you can do is go back to the selection tool and drag it around a little bit and put it where you want. When you open a document in Illustrator, you're going to see the Properties panel on the right. And if you have something selected like the star here, you'll see properties for that object. Go ahead and select the selection tool if it's not already. And then choose Select Deselect. That way you can see what shows up over here. Now in the Properties panel with nothing selected, you're going to see properties for the document as well as Illustrator. Click the large Vibes text right here to select it, and you'll now see some appearance properties for it. Click the color box here. And make sure Swatches is selected so we can choose a color that we have available. And I'm going to pick just a lighter purple. Go ahead and do that. Press Escape to hide the panel. In the toolbar on the left, there are not that many tools actually, if you look. I mean, you're going to look at it maybe as a new person and say, wow, that's a lot of tools, but I'll show you what I mean by that. Coming down here to click the Edit Toolbar button, and what you're going to see is you're going to see every tool available in Illustrator. There's a lot. There's a lot of tools in here. Now, if you notice, like come up here, you're going to see if you move the pointer over a tool like the selection tool, if it's already out there, it's going to be kind of dimmed or grayed out. Hover over it and it'll show you where it is in the toolbar. Now scroll in the list until you see the knife tool. There it is way down here. And what we're going to do is we're going to add it. So we're going to drag it between two tools. So go, I'll put it like right here maybe. When you see a blank space show up, let go, and it puts it in there. You can press the escape key to hide the extra tools then. Alright, you should see the knife tool, it's there, and it's selected. Go back to the selection tool, I'll go up here, and click the lighter orange shape behind the starting at $89 text right here. Select the knife tool you just added, which is right there. And you might want to zoom out a little bit, so choose View, Zoom Out. I'm just going to do it once, that's fine. Drag across the shape, and you're going to cut it. So I'm going to do it wherever I want. I'm just going to drag it here. And what it does is it cuts it into two separate shapes. All right. Now choose Select, Deselect. Select the selection tool. Click that smaller shape there. And now we're going to change the color of it. We cut it in two so that we could do something different with this part. Click the color box to the left of fill. Make sure swatches are selected. And let's pick a lighter color like that. You can click away and deselect if you want to by clicking somewhere or choosing Select, Deselect. I wanted to add this in here because sometimes it's useful. You can actually take the toolbar over here and move it if you want. So if you come up top and drag it by this bar in the upper left and pull it away and let go, you can see what it does. It actually makes it so it's what's called free floating. You can then, there's a little arrow here. Do not click the X, it'll close it. Click the little arrow, you can make it 2 column, 1 column if you want. You can always drag it back. So if you drag it by, careful up here, you can drag it by this little, kind of like a dash line, all the way up again. Move your cursor over there and let go, and it'll snap it back in. If you close it, you can go to Window, Toolbars, and open up the basic toolbar again. Let's talk about how to work with panels. On the right side of the workspace, you're going to see the Properties panel, which we've worked a little bit with, and you're also going to see a couple other panels, Layers and Libraries, most likely, that are grouped with it. Click the Layers panel tab to the right here, and you can show what are called the layers. Now, come up here and click the double arrow at the top. That's going to collapse, if I can move my cursor up there. There we go. To icons. If you need more space out here, you can do that. You can also do this. You can come to the split here and drag to the right until it just shows as icons. Okay. Click the large Vibes text out here. And then click the Properties panel icon you can see right here. And what that does is it just opens up the panel. Let's change the color of the text now. So click the color to the left here of fill. And I'm just going to go back to the original purple. Alright, then click the Properties panel icon here to hide it, the panel itself. And then to expand the panel, click the arrows. And we're back where we were. Right now, to reset the workspace, choose Window, Workspace, Reset Essentials. It's probably not going to look very different because we just opened that up, but that's a way to put everything back where it should be. Panels don't have to just live on the right here. You can move them where you want. All right, let's fit everything in the window. So choose View, Fit Artboard and Window. Click the Window menu at the top up here. And you're going to see we've got a lot of panels to look at. Choose Swatches. It's going to open up the Swatches panel group. Now this panel group is what's called free floating. It's kind of hanging out wherever you want it. You can drag it around by the title bar if you want to. Matter of fact, drag it closer to the panels over here. We want the Swatches panel to be out here forever, let's say. We want it to be permanent. So what you can do is you can drag by the tab, the Swatches panel, onto the group over here, and if you bring it on top of the tabs, you're going to see a blue highlight. Let go, and it adds it to the group. You can now click the X at the top of the symbols panel group here, and that closes it. We've already done this, but we're going to switch and reset the workspace here. Above the dock panels over here, click the workspace switcher, and you're going to see all the different workspaces available to us. Choose layout, and it's going to switch everything you see out here for the most part, except for the toolbar. If you look up here, you're going to see what's called a control bar. This is what we used to have in Illustrator. In other words, we would, instead of using the properties panel on the right, we would look at everything up here. Okay, let's switch back. Choose Essentials up here again. And you'll notice that the swatches panel is still here. It didn't go back to the original workspace. If you choose from that same little menu up here, Reset Essentials, it'll put it back to the original workspace. One way to work faster is to use what's called panel and context menus. With the selection tool selected, make sure that large Vibes text is still selected. Click the fill color box, and in the panel that opens, make sure swatches are selected or showing, and then come here and click on this little panel menu. Choose Small List View. You can change how it looks, and that just changes the appearance of all the colors. All right, to go back where it was, click that panel menu again and choose Small Thumbnail View, which is the default. Press the Escape key to hide the panel. Then choose Select Deselect so that the text is no longer selected, that Vibes text. Now another type of menu you can show is what's called a context menu. If you move the pointer over here in the area, the dark gray area, right click and you're going to see some different things you can do here. This is a menu that you can do things like zoom in. So why don't you choose zoom in or zoom out? I'll choose zoom out. The ad's going to appear a little smaller. Depending on what you click on, what you right click on, you're going to see different things. Now we'll talk about how to use view commands to get around. Choose View, Zoom In a few times. It's going to zoom in directly into the center of the artwork here. To see everything again, choose View, Fit Artboard and Window. You can now see that the whole artboard is out here in the document window. Now we want to zoom into this area down here, so click the text starting at $89 down here, then choose View, Zoom In. You'll notice that with something selected, it actually zooms into that object. Press the Shift key and select the star. We're going to group those together. So choose Object, Group, and now they're treated as a single object. Choose View, Fit Artboard and Window so we can see everything again, and then choose Select, Deselect so nothing is selected. In addition to using the view commands, you can also use the zoom tool to get around. Select the zoom tool over there in the toolbar and move the pointer into the document window and you'll see a plus in the middle of it. Go ahead and click right on the Vibes text there, right on the shoe rather, and you can see it just zooms in a little bit. Click a few more times on that text and where you click is in the center, becomes the center of the document window, and it zooms in by a set amount. Now if you want to zoom out, press the Option key on Mac or Alt key on Windows, and you'll see a minus sign, and click. I'll do it a couple times, then release the key. You're going to use that in conjunction with Fit Artboard and Windows, so choose View, Fit Artboard and Windows so you can see the whole thing. Now another way you can do this is you can actually drag with the zoom tool or press and hold. So if I drag, now you got to be quick with this. I'm going to drag right and left, and you can see what it does, right and left. If you press and hold, it'll also zoom. It'll do what's called an animated zoom. But you can go drag right, drag left like this. Okay. After playing a little bit, choose View, Fit Artboard and Window. See it again. You could keep going if you want to. You're going to find in the book that there are a lot of keyboard commands like shortcuts for you to use. You can take a look at those and see if they help you. Another way to get around is to pan, which means you can kind of drag the document inside here so that you can go to another part of the document, for instance. Go ahead and select the selection tool. I'll go up here and select it. And select this starting at $89 text again right here. Choose View Zoom In twice. So you can also, I learned that shortcut, the keyboard command right there. All right, now suppose you need to look at something at the top of the ad. Press and hold on the zoom tool and select the hand tool. You can then drag down in the document window to see what's at the top of the ad here. Okay, now select any other tool, and if you are on a tool beside the type tool right here, if you want to use the hand tool, you can press the space bar on Mac or Windows, click and drag, press and drag. So I'm holding the space bar down. Once I'm finished or want to be done with the actual hand tool, release the space bar. To see everything, choose View, Fit Artboard and Window. I just wanted to share with you a little bit about what we call the Navigator panel. Come to the window menu up here, and let's open up Navigator. You're going to see that this is a little panel that shows you what's going on out here in your document window. You can see your artwork. If you want to, you can actually drag in here, and it drags out there. What's cool is that you could even, if you want to zoom in, for instance, you can zoom in by clicking on the mountain, or zoom out by clicking on the smaller mountain, or choose a preset here. And that means that you can use this kind of like as a little magnifying glass, so you can kind of move around. It's pretty cool to be able to see all the content out here and to see what's going on using this panel. This is just another way to get around. All right, go ahead and close the panel and choose View, Fit Artboard and Window, so we have everything set up the way it was. There are going to be times where you have content that's sideways or vertical, or you need to be able to view something and you need to rotate the entire view out here. We're going to do that to edit some text, but we're going to open up a new file. So choose File, Open. In the Lessons, Lesson 1 folder, open up L1Start2.ai. This is just another couple versions of the ad. To see everything, choose View, Fit All in Window to fit both. There's two artboards out here. You'll see both now. Press and hold on the hand tool and select the Rotate View tool. And what you can do out here is you can actually, with this tool, just drag. So if you drag, you can rotate the view. As you drag, press the Shift key to rotate it in 15-degree increments. What I want you to do is go to 90 degrees, release the mouse, and then the key. And you can now see the text a little clearer here. It's easier to maybe edit if you need to. Select the type tool over there in the toolbar. And come over here and just click in $89. And we're going to change this by dragging to 98. There we go. Now we can do what we call reset the canvas and put it back the way it was. So select the selection tool and click somewhere to deselect the text. Come down here, and we could drag with the tool again, the Rotate View tool, or you can come down here and just choose a value. Choose 0, and it should put it back the way it was. If you want to, you can choose View, Fit All in Window, just to make sure you see it all. You can also view artwork in different ways. In other words, you can see artwork without all of the color fills here, for instance, so that it's easier to see everything that's out there. We're going to take a look at how to view artwork in a different way here. So choose View, Outline right up here. This is the one I use all the time, because if you're looking at artwork and you can't see everything because things are stacked on top of each other. Like you've got two shapes, one on top of another. If you look over here, check this out. There's actually a little bit of text hanging out underneath these shapes. If you click on that, you can delete it. So then press backspace or delete and get rid of it. Or move it or arrange it or do whatever you want to do. That's something you could do. But with outline mode, you can see that. Otherwise, with all the color, you wouldn't see that. To see everything again, but to see it as a pixelated version, choose View, Now normally you'd go back up here and say like GPU preview and turn it back. We're going to go to pixel preview. So choose pixel preview, and it's going to show you the color and everything else, but it's now going to show you what things look like if they were saved as an image like a JPEG. Click the white shoelaces on the shoe, and we're going to zoom in. So come down here and choose like 600%. And you can see the shoelaces now. Check that out. You'll actually see the pixels out here. This is still vector artwork. You can still go in and edit it and change it and size it and scale it, whatever you need to do. But it's previewing as if it were like a JPEG, for instance. Okay, to turn it off, choose View, Pixel Preview. You can see a check mark. Turn it off. And you can now see the vector artwork as it should be. Choose Select, Deselect, just to make sure nothing is selected. Let's talk a little bit about how to navigate a document with multiple pages, or artboards we call them. First of all, choose View, Fit All in Window so you can see everything in the document here. Select the selection tool if it's not already selected, and then click the vertical starting at $98 text here. Choose View, Fit Artboard in Window. You'll see that when you select something on that artboard or on an artboard, it makes that artboard the active artboard. All right, to deselect, choose Select, Deselect. Come over here and you're going to see that we have artboard. You can navigate between your artboards or pages, and we've got 2 in this document, by choosing them here. Choose 2, and what it does is it goes to that second artboard. Now, down here you'll actually also see ways to get around. These are previous first. These are the number of artboards here. You can see them there. Next, and then, whatever that is, last. Click the previous navigation button down here, right there, and it'll go to the previous, or show you the previous artboard. There are a lot of ways to get around, and these are just 2. You're going to learn a lot more ways on how to do this in lesson 5 and others. So one quick thing I wanted to throw in here was about arranging multiple documents. Now, we have multiple documents open here, and you can easily just click on tabs to go back and forth between the 2 if you want to. But you can also arrange things so they appear differently. If you come up to the upper right here and click on the Arrange Documents tab, you can arrange them horizontally, vertically, however you want to do it. That actually makes it so that if you click in each, for instance, and I choose View, Fit Artboard and Window, and do the same over here. Oops. You could technically drag things between documents if you want to, and actually makes a copy. So there's different ways to be able to work. You can copy paste, you can drag drop, you can do all kinds of things. And if you want these documents to be back together, come back to Arrange, and you can choose right here, Consolidate All. They're back as tabs, and you can click between them. Okay, so we're going to start this lesson. Make sure that you've reset the preferences and you've started Illustrator. Go ahead and choose File Open, or click Open over here. Go into the Lessons, Lesson 2 folder, and open up the l2end.ai file. This is the final project. Okay, now we're going to open up the Start project. So choose File Open. There we go. And go to l2start.ai and open that one up. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and save it. So choose File, Save As. You're probably going to see this dialog box which asks to save as a cloud document. We're not going to do that, so save on your computer. Let's call this Game Night. Oops. And make sure Illustrator is chosen for the format or the Save As type. Click Save. Illustrator options. 95% of the time you're in Illustrator, unless you really know what you're doing, you're probably just going to click OK to this. So click OK. And let's reset the workspace. So come up here, and let's go to make sure Essentials is chosen. Then choose Reset Essentials. out of the many selection tools, we're going to start with the one that we use a lot, or we're going to use a lot, the selection tool. So come down here. We're going to switch what we're looking at here. So come down here and choose 3 pieces in the artboard navigation menu. And you should see this. Select the selection tool over here. Make sure it's selected. And then just move the pointer around the artwork. And you're going to kind of see some things happen here. You're going to see the cursor, the pointer, cursor, whatever you want to call it, change. You're going to see little things pop up, words, etc. It's just telling you that you're going to interact or click on or, select something if you click right now. Move your pointer over the edge of the larger green circle, and you'll probably see something like the word path. This thing actually has, you'll see in a second, a bounding box on it. So why don't you go ahead and click anywhere inside of the green, and you'll see this bounding box. The bounding box is how you can scale and move and do all kinds of things, even rotate. You see the little rotate arrows? Click in the little smaller green circle here, and you'll notice that that one's selected and the other one or previous one is deselected. It's no longer selected. That's the way it works. Now drag this smaller circle over here onto the bigger green circle. You're going to start to see a lot of labels and things showing up and popping all around. Those are called smart guides, and they're trying to help you figure out, where things are. All right, press the Shift key and click the larger circle here to select both objects now. Drag either one of these down and put it on top of this handle right here. Now we're going to practice selecting with the direct selection tool. This is how you go to a shape like this circle or this speech bubble, and you can just do whatever you want with it. Select the direct selection tool over here in the toolbar, and then click inside this pink thought bubble or speech bubble to select it. You're going to see these little blue anchor points, they're called, right here. These are how you control the shape. Choose View, zoom in, so you can see it a little bit closer. Right now, move the pointer over the bottom down here, this little bottom anchor point. You should see it says anchor, and it's got a little measurement label, a gray label. If you see the word anchor and you see the little box next to the pointer, that means you're about to select an anchor point. Click to select it, and then move the pointer away. And you can see that it's now blue, filled, and the rest of these are kind of like hollow, they're white. That means they're not selected. Move it over the anchor here, not the double circle right there, but the anchor, it should say anchor, and then drag it up a little bit, something like that. I'll go a little more even. There we go, something like the book. Now try clicking another point in the shape, and you'll see that that one is now deselected. So it doesn't have a fill. Any anchors that are selected will actually have a fill color of blue. Choose Select, Deselect. That way you can select other stuff. Another way you can select things is to drag across them. And that's what you do. This is called a selection marquee or a marquee selection. Choose View, Fit Artboard, and Window so you can see the entire artboard. Select the selection tool. And what we want to do is we want to select all of this content right here. So instead of just clicking and shift clicking every object to add it, drag across, just touch them and let go, and you've got them all selected. Drag this down onto the base, something like that. There we go. You're going to see that line and everything kind of snapping it for you. Now, select the direct selection tool over here in the toolbar. Drag across the speech bubble or thought bubble over here. Drag across the bottom half of it like this, and that should select all the anchor points there. Press the up arrow key a few times so you can move them all together. I didn't do a lot, just a little bit right there. You'll notice that just these anchor points move because they're the only ones that are selected. These are not selected up here. Okay, select the selection tool, and what we're going to do is move that level up text down. So drag this text down onto the bubble and let go, and just center it as best you can. Choose select, deselect. Now I already clicked somewhere to deselect, so I'm not doing that. And then save your file by choosing File, Save. Selecting an Illustrator can be a challenge. That's why you need to be able to lock objects. Come down here and choose one postcard front from the bottom down here. Click in the black shape in the background here with the selection tool selected, and then we're going to lock it. So choose Object, Lock. Where are we at? There we go. Selection. Now you can no longer select it. Click the small star to the left of the lines here. Press the Shift key and click the other star. That selects them both. Choose Object, Lock, Selection. That way we can lock those as well. Starting off the left edge of the postcard here, drag across the lines, just touching the lines. Don't go too far. Just touch the lines and let go, and you've got those selected. Now drag them down. You're going to have to drag by one of the lines and drag it down. And kind of center it on there. There we go. And let go. Now on the flip side, you can also unlock objects if you need to do something with them. So choose Object, Unlock All, and that's like the only option you get. You can unlock everything or nothing. So choose Select, Deselect. Select the background shape here, the black one. Click the Fill Color box over here, and we're going to pick a different color. So maybe I'll pick like that one right there. There we go. Go ahead and choose Object, Lock, Selection to lock it again, and you'll notice this is showing. So if I come to Object, I'm not going to see anything. So you'll notice that just hid. So I got to go back to Object, Lock, Selection. There we go. If you have to select a lot of the same type of thing, you can use what's called Select Similar, and that's what we're going to do next. Choose 3 pieces from down here, and that takes you to that artboard right here that you see. Click to select one of the white squares down here, and we need to select the rest of these. So choose Select, Same. Now they all have the same fill and stroke. I know that they do. So if you choose Fill and Stroke, all the shapes with the same fill color, and stroke weight, and color will be selected. All right, now we're going to save that selection so we can come back to this easier later. Choose Select, Save Selection, name the selection Dots, and then click OK. Choose Select, Deselect, and you're going to see dots down there now. It's saved with the document, not every other document, but this document only. And then save your file. Another way to focus on things is to hide part of your artwork so you can focus on something else. Let's go back over to the postcard front. So choose one postcard front from down here. Click one of the stars in the background. Now, I want to select all these stars and just hide them for a little while so we don't have to accidentally select them, for instance. Choose Select, Same, and you're going to see Appearance. Everything that has the same appearance, the stars that is, they're all going to be selected. Choose Object, Hide, Selection, and they're hidden. We actually saw outline mode in the first chapter, but I want to show you it again because it's going to make it easier to select this text right here. You can see that each of these letters is actually a separate object. For us to shift click on all these would be a pain. So choose View, Outline, and you can see everything without the fills. Drag across the Company Arcade Night text and let go. Press the up arrow key a few times to bring it up. That's pretty good. And now what we want to do is group them together so later on it's easier to select them. So click Group over here. You're going to learn more about groups soon. Then choose View, GPU Preview, or Preview. And you've got it. Now let's take a look at how to align objects to each other. Choose 3 pieces from down here so we can see this artboard again. And what we're going to do is we're going to select all the dots. So choose Select, Dots. We saved this selection previously. Then to align them all together, come over here to the Align options and you'll see that we have Vertical Align Center right there. That should align them to each other, center vertically. You can also align into what's called a key object. And we'll see what that means next. Choose one postcard front from down here. Click one of the green game buttons down here. And then shift click the other green game button and the pink shape behind to select them. You can release the shift key. Click the pink shape. That means that this is now what's called the key object. You can see it's got a highlight around it. Come over here and click the Vertical Align Center button. That essentially means that the buttons are going to align to the key object, which is that pink shape. If we want to make the spacing between objects the same, you can distribute the objects. Let's go back over to the Pieces artboard. So choose 3 pieces from down here. Select those dots again by choosing Select, Dots. And then over here on the right, you'll see the Align options. Click on the More Options button here and click the Horizontal Distribute Center button right here. That's going to make it so that the centers, they actually have some even space between them. Click the leftmost shape to make it the key object. There we go. Come over to Align. Click More Options again. And this time what I want to do is we're going to use what's called Distribute Spacing. So change the spacing value to 7. And then we're going to click the Horizontal Distribute Spacing button. That puts the exact spacing between each of these at 7 pixels. All right, click the group button over here to group them together. That keeps them together. And we'll learn more about groups soon. Choose Select, Deselect, and save your file. You can also align anchor points, and that's what we'll do next. So choose 2 postcard back from down here. Choose View Zoom Out so you can zoom out just a little bit. And then select the Direct Selection tool, and what I want you to do is click in the middle of this shape. You can now see its anchor points. Click this anchor point, then shift-click this anchor point to select them. And what you just did was you said that we're going to align this anchor point to this anchor point. This is now the key anchor point. Click the horizontal aligned right button here. And you'll see that that anchor aligned to that anchor point. Choose Select, Deselect. And we're going to put this into position next. Now we're going to align this shape to the artboard itself. You're going to do this a lot. Select the selection tool, and then select the same rectangle you just edited. You can see the gap right here. That's part of the artboard. We want to take this and align it to the left over here. Click the Align To button right here, and make sure that Align to Artboard is chosen. Click the horizontal Align Left button right here, and the vertical Align Center button right here. That's just to make sure it's vertically centered. And there we go. Choose Select, Deselect, then save your file. In Illustrator, we wind up grouping a lot of things to keep them together, and now we're going to discuss what a group is. So choose 3 pieces from down here. Drag across the joystick objects. These are all separate objects. To select them. There you go. Come over here and click on Group. That's going to group the objects together. Now, choose Select, Deselect, and let's explore what a group is. Click one of the joystick shapes now, and you'll see that you click on one, they all are selected because they are grouped. You can even see the word group up over here. Go ahead and practice by grouping the level up text and the pink speech bubble. So drag across to select, and then group. You're going to want to be able to edit the content within a group, so let's explore that. Come over to the joystick group over here and double click to enter isolation mode. Everything else is dimmed, you can't select it, and this is actually ungrouped. Click the dark gray rectangle here, and let's change the color. Come over here and click on Fill, and I'm just going to choose a lighter gray. Like that. There we go. All right, double click outside, and you exit isolation mode. This is now grouped again if you click on it. Choose View, Fit All in Window so you can see everything, and what we're going to do is we're going to drag that joystick onto the game. So drag the joystick group onto the video game console right over here and let go. You're going to see it's going to be behind this other stuff, but don't worry about that. Now you can actually nest content or nest groups within groups, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to create a nested group. So make sure that 3 pieces is still chosen from down here. Then choose View, Fit Artboard and Window. Click any of the white shapes next to the orange character, and you can see that these are grouped. Click the orange character over here, and that is also grouped together. Click the Group button over here in the Properties panel, and you've created what's called a nested group. Deselect by clicking somewhere or choosing Select, Deselect, and next you're going to edit the nested group. Let's take a look at this nested group and see how we can edit content within it. Click the orange character or the white shapes, and you've just selected the entire group. Double-click the orange character, and you enter isolation mode. Click the orange character, and you can see that it's still grouped. Double click on it again. And you're in that group now. You can't select the white shapes here. Click the orange shape to select it. And then click the fill and we'll change it to another color. Like that. Alright. Double click away to exit isolation mode totally. And now you're going to drag this into place as well as the level up text. So choose View, Fit All in Window. Drag that nested group down here and let go. And then drag the level up group up over here and let go. There we go. Now we're going to explore arranging objects a little bit and what that means. Choose one postcard front from down here. And with the selection tool, click the joystick group here to select it. You can see that it's behind the pink shape. Click the Arrange button over here, and what you can do is you can arrange content or bring it in front of content, put it behind content, do things like that. Choose Bring to Front, and it'll bring it to the front of all objects out here. Select the pink rectangle, and what we're going to do is we're just going to align it. So click the horizontal Align Center button right here, and that should center align it for us. Choose Object, Show All, and that way you can show the stars out in the back out here. Choose View, Fit All in Window, so you can see everything out here. Deselect everything by clicking or choosing Select, Deselect. You can save your file and close it.